big shout out to you for making it through the hectic holiday season. This new year, get clean, quality, pregnancy nutrient support off your to-do list, including Ritual's best-selling Essential Prenatal Multivitamin, designed with 12 traceable key ingredients to support a healthy pregnancy. With big changes coming up, take the small steps now and start today with 30% off a 3-month supply at ritual.com/podcast. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Your Morning Blitz begins now.
Have a great Friday, you mother...
Oh, we will.
Yes.
It's here.
Tell me how your birthday was yesterday. The whole day, front to back, baby.
All right, well, first I have to correct myself from
okay.
yesterday.
Oh, what'd you say?
Well, I didn't it's who I gave credit to. So when I came in here yesterday morning, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm still waking up, and the brownies were sitting over here where I put all my stuff.
Yeah.
So I picked them up and moved them over to the other side of the counter here, and there was a card on them, and then there was another card with our program log, as it's called, and I set it over there. And then a few minutes later, I went over and opened both cards and read them, and one was from Ronnie and one was from Tess. Okay, Ronnie Hunter and Tess, who but it was Ronnie and Tess. And then I set them down, and then somehow I couldn't remember which card. After I'd opened them and read them, I couldn't remember which card was with the brownies. Well, Ronnie always calls me Thick.
Yeah.
And Tess always calls me Rick.
Okay.
Well, so they were already out of the envelopes.
Okay, I got it. You gave the wrong credit to the brownies.
Yes, it was Tess who left me the brownies, not Ronnie. I'm sorry. That would just.
I know you're trying to explain why.
I know, and it was just like I confused and
it's
anything.
Okay. I'm sure Tess is okay with it, but very nice. So instantly, right off the bat, you got those delicious looking brownies. You got a couple of nice cards.
Yeah,
that's so good.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened after I left you. Did everybody just wish you the biggest happy birthdays?
Yeah.
You got
1,000
of them here.
Yeah, just all day.
Doesn't it make you feel good? Like, a lot of people are like, I don't care about my birthday, but it is so nice when people are like, hey, happy birthday.
Yeah, it is. It is. It definitely is. So I go home, and my mom had left me a gift last week when she came over. It was wrapped, so I didn't open it yet. Okay. I still had it.
Linda?
Yeah, my mom, Linda. And so I opened it, and Kelly, it was this framed, art of legendary Buckeye players and Woody Hayes and stuff. And it's magnificent.
Where's that going to go? Like in your office?
I'm still trying to decide. Yeah. I haven't decided yet.
Oh my, what a nice gift.
That was a great gift. So then my wife had a gift for me, and I could not believe it, because yesterday we were discussing this on the show. I don't know how she got it as fast as she did. But, man, I drove to work this morning with a heated seat.
You did not.
I did. She got a seat warmer that plugs into the 12-volt.
Heather, well
Nailed
done.
it. Oh, it was so great. I can't believe what you all have been living with that I haven't.
It makes a huge difference.
Oh my
it's
God.
one of those little tiny features that it's like, this is glorious.
It is wonderful.
The rest of me is freezing, but my butt is warm.
What, the back that covers the whole seat?
Nice. This just radiates everywhere.
Everywhere.
Oh.
I mean, warmest drive I ever had to work.
Oh, I love it. Perfect gift.
It was.
So you plug that bad boy right into the old
that 12-volt
little
socket.
lighter.
Yeah, like the light.
Yeah,
like the lighter socket thing.
That's great. That's great.
So I just, when I went out and started the truck this morning to let it warm up, I plugged that in too and turned it on. And man, when I got in the truck this morning, I was like, this is unreal. Because it form fits to the seat, and it straps on it, and so it's nice and tight on there. It doesn't, fall.
I thought you were going to tell me she got you a little chandelier to hang from your rear view. A little rear view chandelier.
No, but somebody just heard that, I guarantee.
But this is way better.
Yes. So good.
Robert says, welcome to the high life, Rick.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable. I can't believe all these years.
Yes.
And I've been doing that without it. Now I get it.
Oh, gosh. Well, that's great. That's great. What a happy birthday for you.
Oh, and it ended fantastic.
Oh, I want to hear this.
What?
I don't know if you're going to really release something personal or...
Oh, no.
Okay, tell me.
Oh, there was a little person at my house that calls me Pop Pop last night.
I think they're called midgets. Oh, I see.
My granddaughter.
Or little people. I'm sorry. They like little people.
My 2-year-old granddaughter
came over. A little person. I getcha.
That was the
I
best.
was thinking like Elf. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
Peter Dinklage. That's what I was thinking. And I thought, isn't that cool? Your birthday ended with Peter Dinklage. Nice!
You know what's funny is all through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and just like everything now, she just constantly says, Happy Halloween. She did it on Thanksgiving. She did it on Christmas. She did it on my birthday.
That is so cute.
She's just stuck.
Happy Halloween.
She kept saying that back at Halloween, so now every holiday she says happy
Oh, we love a Halloween girly, don't we? We love it.
Hilarious.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so when is the grandson due?
July. Yes.
Okay. Oh,
The baby king is coming.
Is she getting prepped for...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's so
It's
sweet.
fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
All right, we do have another pair of tickets to see Jet. We'll give those away just after 7 o'clock. Tell you how to win them after Kelly's 7 o'clock news. Right now, Morning Blitz trivia, $25 to waterbeds and stuff. Just be the first person to text in the correct answer at 99700 to get that. And the question is, the Philadelphia Eagles are selling what from last week's playoff game? They are actually selling this to their fans from last week's playoff game. What is it? Tell us first at 99700 and get the gift card. Yeah. Megadeth on the Morning Blitz. It is 6:23. Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick on a Friday, and our Morning Blitz trivia question. The Philadelphia Eagles are selling what from last week's playoff game? This is just, Kelly, you know how much I hate this team.
Yes, I
do.
mean,
despise
them and their fans.
Well, I do know some Eagles fans that I like.
Okay.
Yeah, we have some who listen that I do like, but generally their fans are just the worst in the stadium, and I know why, because like I've said, they just don't want opposing fans in their stadium. So they're just rude and obnoxious to them, hoping that they won't come anymore. I guess it's not a bad strategy, But just as a Cowboys fan, and Eagles fans hate Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys, but I hate the Eagles. But this is just another reason that I have to hate them. From last week's playoff game, for $50 a pint, they were selling the snow.
Oh. Okay, I don't hate them for doing it, but I hate the people who buy it. Who is buying that? If you bought that, then that is a huge waste of money, number one. And it puts you in a category that is not flattering.
Yeah, so, they were playing the Rams divisional playoff round, Lincoln Financial Field, and they sold it. It came in insulated containers with dry ice and detailed care instructions. So I guess you're going to make it last?
Okay, so it was like snow off the field?
Yeah, because it was snowing like crazy.
Yeah, I saw the game.
Yeah. And it's already sold out. Now, I don't know how many they had, but it is sold out.
Okay, now... Okay, it's a little different than I was imagining. So it will remain snow in this hermetically sealed
I don't know.
Bottle or
It just
whatever?
says insulated containers with dry ice and detailed care instructions. What, put it in the freezer?
How much was it?
$50 a pint.
That is crazy, but okay.
Seriously.
Oh my gosh, okay.
I'm not a big fan of Washington either because they're in our division, but one of the two of them is going to the Super Bowl because that's who's playing each other Sunday, Washington and Philly.
I'm trying to think if I would do that if the Buckeyes had a bunch of snow and they just won the national championship and they put it in this sealed, preserved container with dry ice, and it was the snow upon which our beloved Buckeyes played and won the national championship, and they said, hey, for $50, you can have some of the snow.
Yeah, no.
I need video of you scooping that snow up. Right where, Quinshawn Judkins stepped. I need his cleat prints.
Right. I would do that for the turf of the championship field, for a piece of the turf.
Yeah? What would you do with it?
I don't know. I'd put it on a
somewhere?
shelf in my office or something.
Yeah,
with I'm sure it would have something that's a plaque that said official turf from championship game. And
I mean, it's a colossal waste of money, but hey, if you've got it to waste, go for it.
But yeah, not snow. I'm not buying your snow.
So
It has nothing to do with it. You didn't produce the snow. It just fell out of the sky.
And how do I know?
Right. Yeah, it could have come from,
someone's backyard.
The parking lot.
Right. Don't try to foist your parking lot snow on me for $50. I want the real thing.
I wouldn't mind. You think about the snow there. Maybe the snow that they threw at the Santa Claus back in, I think it was like 1968. They had a Santa Claus at Philadelphia's game, and they were throwing snowballs at him. That's how mean the Eagles fans are, Kelly.
Throwing snowballs at Santa?
They threw snowballs at Santa Claus and booed him.
Okay.
In their defense, it was a really janky-looking Santa Claus.
Aww. I love a janky Santa Claus.
That might have been why they did it.
Oh, I love it. I think it's funny. I like a skinny Santa Claus, too. It makes me laugh.
Oh, yeah, he was. Like I said, he was like, no kid's going to buy this. No kid's going to want to sit on his lap. And we're like, well, that ain't right. That Santa Claus don't look right.
That ain't right.
So that might have been why they booed him and threw snowballs at him. But anyway, so the answer was snow, and congrats to MJ from Powell's. She was the first one to text in the correct answer, so MJ's got $25 to go spend at waterbeds and stuff.
It's the Morning Blitz.
And now it's time for I've Got Something.
Let's see if these dummies have anything worthwhile for us.
Friday morning edition, Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick. You want me to go?
It makes no difference to me. You go right ahead.
I'll go ahead.
Okay.
So again, this is more drama from the TikTok shutdown and reboot that happened last weekend. Yeah. Girl in Mesa, Arizona got a tattoo from her husband. TikTok was done. It was over. So she got a tattoo on her lower leg. It had the TikTok logo on a gravestone with the dates 2016 to 2025. And just as he finished giving her the tattoo, he informed her.
Wait, TikTok's back. What? Wait. Oh my God.
She said all she could do was laugh.
Yeah, I mean, you've got yourself to blame there.
I mean... what's worse, doing that or uninstalling it from your phone and then finding out it's back? Because then you can't get it.
I'd rather have uninstalled than gotten a permanent tattoo by my husband.
I wonder,
no
do you have something done over it, or do you keep it as a, like a memory? Just like, oh yeah, remember when TikTok went down that night? It was gone. We thought.
Hey there. Ritual here to give a big shout out to you for making it through the hectic holiday season. The magic of those family moments, that was you. And now there's new milestones to prep for in 2025. This new year, check clean, quality, pregnancy nutrient support off your to-do list with Ritual. We've done the research to create science-backed pregnancy support like our prenatal multivitamin, natal choline, and fertility support, all designed to be taken alongside each other. But don't just take our word for it. They're also third-party tested for microbes and heavy metals and Clean Label Project certified. So whether you're trying, thinking about trying, or already there, we don't have to tell you that prioritizing yourself can be the hardest part. That's why we're helping you get started today with 30% off a 3-month supply for a limited time at ritual.com/podcast. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge. From worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It was over and done?
Maybe so.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a good idea. I mean, gravestone with TikTok logo on it and the dates.
Is it?
I mean,
if that in 10 years.
I don't know. if it was a big part of your life, you know.
Okay, maybe.
If you were a big influencer on there or something, I don't know.
I guess so. Okay.
Anyway.
Well, I've got something.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I've never thought of this, and I'm going to try to do this quickly just in case it's boring, and I'm the only one who thinks it's interesting. But we know that President Trump signed an executive order renaming the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, and reverting the name of Alaska's Denali back to Mount McKinley. So you might think whoever, or, whatever, who cares? I don't give a crap about that. But what if you are Google Maps, Apple Maps, a global map maker like National Geographic?
Right.
What if you're a globe maker? How about the AP Style Book? The AP Style Book is the industry standard guide on grammar, on punctuation, and on how to refer to these geographic locations. So what do you do once this happens?
Oh, man.
Now, map lines and geographic location names are very inherently political, because there are a lot, disputed territories. For instance, like most Arab countries don't recognize Israel and instead call it Palestine. If you're a global map maker, what do you put there? Israel or Palestine? Who are you pleasing? Like, who would you decide to sell this map worldwide? Israel calls the occupied West Bank by its biblical names, Judea and Samaria. China sees Taiwan as its own territory. And the countries surrounding what the United States calls the South China Sea have multiple names for that same body of water. So what do you call it? There are two names for the river that forms between the border between Texas and several Mexican states. We call it the Rio Grande. Mexicans call it Rio Bravo.
Oh, really?
The Gulf of California is called the Sea of Cortez in Mexico. So there are just different names for different places depending upon where you are. So anyway, when you're trying to put out an international map, what do? Decisions are being made right now. National Geographic, it's a huge map maker, has not yet announced what it's going to do about the Gulf of Mexico / the Gulf of America, or Denali or Mount McKinley. As for globes, one of the big globe makers in the world is called Bellerby and Company Globe Makers. They're based in London. They say they are in discussions with cartographers right now on what they're going to do. AP has decided it will continue to call the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of Mexico, but will acknowledge the new name in some way.
Well,
however, they have reverted from Denali to Mount McKinley. They'll be referring to it as Mount McKinley.
Okay, so Sea of Cortez.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of an example here. You're saying, what do you do? It's the Gulf of California.
Yeah.
And in Mexico, it's the Sea of Cortez.
Yes.
So these maps, do they come out in different...
That's a good
different
question.
Languages?
I don't know if they do it specific, like to China. But the thing is you can't say Taiwan is China, because that's absolutely not a fact. So you have to decide, are you going to please China or are you going to please the rest of the world?
Well, I think you just have to go with reality. You talk about Israel. Not everybody recognizes that.
Right.
Some recognize that as Palestine. But possession's 9/10 of the law. So if the Israelis occupy Israel, then it's Israel.
Yeah. Okay. When you're talking about the Gulf of Mexico, it covers not just the, it's not just the United States where the Gulf of Mexico is. It's also Mexico.
Right. It keeps going.
And yeah.
Maybe it should become the Gulf of Mexico when it hits a certain, coordinate.
Maybe. Right. When it's outside of American territory.
Yeah. When it gets to whatever latitude, it's now the Gulf. I don't know.
It's a weird decision-making process. What do you do as a global map maker or a globe maker?
Right.
Or how about Apple Maps, Google Maps?
Yeah.
What do you call it?
I mean,
they still call Denali on Google Maps and Apple Maps. They have not changed it to Mount McKinley. AP's calling it Mount McKinley.
Right.
So what's the standard? I don't know if that will change on Apple Maps and Google Maps. They still call the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of Mexico. They're like, most people in the world recognize that as being named the Gulf of Mexico. So we're just going to keep
that's
calling
all it's ever been.
Right.
In my whole life.
Yeah.
But again, I think you could do that with the latitude. I mean, the Atlantic Ocean touches the water that is the Gulf of Mexico. So somewhere in there, it goes from being the Atlantic Ocean to the Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the same thing as...
all oceans touch some other water that becomes a different name.
Right.
So I guess you could do that.
Yeah.
You know, Gulf of California, once it reaches a certain latitude, it's now Sea of Cortez. Right. I don't know. I don't know what else you can do.
Yeah.
Now, you can't do that with Taiwan and Israel because that's land. So.
I just think it's a kind of an interesting thing. Like, according to the AP style book, we're calling it the Gulf of Mexico with a little asterisk that says Gulf of America. I guess.
USA.
Yes.
I don't.
But it is really political, and I never thought about how politics plays into map making, and it really does.
It does.
Yeah.
And I mean, things have changed around the world many times over the years. So they've had to have changed things in the past.
That's right.
You know, the Soviet Union is no longer the Soviet Union.
Yeah, look at a map from 30 years ago. It's so different.
Look at Russia then.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
That is really interesting.
I'm glad you thought so. I was worried about it.
3 days grace on the Morning Blitz. It's 6:51. That's Kelly Quinn. I'm Thick Rick. Happy Friday. 10 whole degrees out there. Going to a whopping 22 today, but going to get much better after that. Be in the 30s and then eventually the 40s by the middle of next week.
I'd just like to get rid of the ice patches and the ice formations on my porch, my lawn. The mulch beds are iced over. I'm ready for that to melt.
Oh, but you love this.
I do love a deep freeze, but I will tell you that I am weary. I'm weary of the cold, but we need it. I mean, we do need it for our environment and for your spring fishing. So
I think it's enough.
I think we have bared up under it quite well.
All right. There is a new documentary coming that was completely shot and produced like in secret. Like nobody really, only the people involved seem to know this was going on. It features 34 U.S. government and military officials being very, very candid about the UFO UAP phenomenon.
Okay.
So there is, there's what they talk about in the UFO community is something called slow drip disclosure, which is, you know, we keep hearing bits and pieces about this and like, you know, and we had Congress demand answers and all of this. So it just kind of like piece by piece by piece, as opposed to what they call a catastrophic disclosure.
Okay.
Where they just come out and announce, yes, it's all true. Here's the stuff. Yeah, there are aliens everywhere. Bam, bam, you know, and everybody freaks out.
Okay.
That's why they call it catastrophic disclosure. And that's the belief that that's what the governments around the world have been doing to prepare the world for the truth, that we are not alone. They've been doing it in small doses. And from the looks of this documentary, it could be catastrophic disclosure right around the corner. I mean, we're talking about 34 high-ranking government officials and military officials. Are they all lying? Here, right. I got a clip of the trailer from this documentary.
The American people are ready to receive the truth.
Humanity is not the only intelligence in the universe.
Humanity is not the only intelligent species.
We are absolutely not alone. Non-human intelligence exists.
UAPs are real, they're here, and they're not human. I spent 25 years as a senior official with the CIA.
I worked on highly classified UAP program.
28 years as an astrophysicist.
I served as the 4th Director of National Intelligence.
Director of Aviation Security in the National Security Council.
The 1-star admiral after 32 years of service.
People that come forward with this, I feel like they've taken their life in their own hands.
There was a movie called I Know What I Saw back in, I just looked it up, 2009, that had similar people testifying to what they'd seen, like Air Force generals, right. Military, commercial pilots, government officials, FAA officials. So I guess every 15, 20 years, we're going to come out with, just a refreshed documentary on the same thing. It is hard when you're watching these, because I saw this, I Know What I Saw. I bought it hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would these people lie? What is their motivation to lie and say they saw something when they didn't. It's just reputation ruining
Right,
when you say you saw a UFO.
Yeah.
So I bought it. I don't know what it is.
Well, it might have all been true.
And yeah, it's like with the drones lately. That all went away. Nobody's talking about that anymore.
Just like it's gone.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? Where'd the drones go?
Yeah. Somebody asked
Got no answers.
Trump on Inauguration Day about it.
Oh, what'd he say? Did he have
He called over to his assistant. I forget her name. What's her assistant? Like, say it's Molly. He's like, Molly, can we get, can we find out about that or whatever? I forget her name, darn it. But, yeah, somebody asked him what about the New Jersey UFOs? And he's like, yeah, that was weird. Well, that was weird. We need to know what that was.
Well, this is called the documentary is called The Age of Disclosure. It's going to debut in theaters.
Yeah.
Before it hits streaming, but it is going to debut in theaters. We do not have a release date yet.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
With rain in the forecast for Los Angeles this weekend, officials are preparing for possible mudslides and flooding from recent burn scars. Massive fires in the region have kept crews busy for weeks, leaving thousands of homes and businesses destroyed and killing at least 28 people. While work continues near the city, firefighters have gained the upper hand fighting the Hughes fire in northern Los Angeles County. The fire ignited Wednesday near Castaic Lake and has burned more than 10,000 acres. It's currently 36% contained. The Palisades fire is about 75% contained, and the Eaton fire is 95% contained. President Trump will be visiting the disaster areas in California today, but first, he'll stop in North Carolina, where Tropical Storm Helene caused billions of dollars in damage in September, and people there are still homeless, still suffering. Reality TV couple Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag, the darlings of TikTok, I might add, are suing the city of Los Angeles after losing their Pacific Palisades home in the wildfires. The couple, of course, they were on the hills. If you watch that, they filed their lawsuit this week along with more than 20 other property owners and residents who were affected by the Palisades fire. Now, the complaint blames Los Angeles and its municipal water department for the water issues that hampered firefighting efforts, and they say it ultimately led to the damage and destruction of their homes. The suit specifically mentions the reservoir that services the Pacific Palisades neighborhood, which had been offline and out of commission since February of last year, awaiting repairs. And the lawsuit cites the hydrants in the neighborhood that went dry within 12 hours. So they're like, yeah, we were screwed, basically, because you were wildly unprepared for a wildfire. Like I said, Spencer and Heidi are the darlings of TikTok right now. People ride so hard for this couple. I mean, they have got just the wildest amount of support.
So, yeah, I know. Are people donating money to them?
People are helping them make money on TikTok. So they're giving them full views. Mm-hmm. They are giving them tips on how to make more money on TikTok. They have everybody gathered together to stream Heidi Montag's album, which is 15 years old, to bring it to number 1 in the streaming charts. They did that a couple weeks ago, I want to say. So everybody's using Heidi Montag's songs. And so they are slowly but surely making money off TikTok. Yeah. And if you may not know who this couple is, but I do encourage you to sort of check out Spencer Pratt's TikTok. It is incredibly entertaining. He is really giving the people what they want. It's really entertaining.
Well, I know he was on there asking people to donate money, when they lost their home. And I'm sorry they lost their home, because he said, now they've lost everything and they're broke. Well, they blew through $10 million so fast that they had 10 million cash when they were at their peak, like back in the teens, in the 20 teens.
Yeah.
And they went on so many $100,000 vacations. They bought $1 million crystal collection, and
he sells crystals. That's his main business, is selling crystals. He did a whole video yesterday of going back to his property and digging under the rubble. Like literally, their home is complete rubble.
Right.
There's nothing standing of their home, and he was getting out like the crystals and the things that were left behind. It's really interesting. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know about a GoFundMe or anything like that for them, but I do know that they're working TikTok pretty hard, and people are loving them. They are loving these two. So I don't know.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, I know everybody has their feelings about everything, and that's fine. I guess everybody's point of view is valid, but you can't deny that this guy's the sweetheart of TikTok right now.
Yeah, I saw his video where he was asking for money, and I'm like, you guys blew so much money. Just blew it on so much crap, and now you're broke and you're begging people for money.
I would say...
I'm sorry they lost their home. There's stuff you can't replace there.
That no matter how much money you make, if your home burns down, you don't need people going through your expenses and what you spent money on.
Oh, it was a story that popped up after it. So I know,
but I'm just saying, like for me, if my home burned down and then we had to GoFundMe, I wouldn't want people going, you spent $60 on Il Maquillage face cream? I don't think so, Kelly.
Well.
If you've got $60 to burn on face cream, you don't need my money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I'm saying. I mean, I don't begrudge people a GoFundMe, I guess, but I get it. Yeah. They're rich people.
Yeah, again, like you've talked about, you think about the people in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Nobody on TikTok's helping them.
I don't know about that. I said that they needed a fundraising concert, and people had already done that months before I suggested it. So
I don't think there's anybody from North Carolina who's churning up this kind of attention on TikTok and getting, making money off of it.
Yeah.
Volbeat on the Morning Blitz, 7:10. Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick, and your tickets to see Jet with special guest band The Skulls. They will play Kimba Live Saturday, June 7th. Tickets go on sale at 10 o'clock this morning through AXS.com. If you would like our last free pair before they go on sale. You need to listen this hour for Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit. When you hear it, be caller number 9 at 1-800-821-9970, and you will get the last one before you can buy them tickets to see Jet.
We were talking about Spencer and Heidi and the fact you were saying that they were losing millions. They've lost millions.
They blew millions.
Blew millions, yeah. And I was like, well, I spent $60 on face cream, and I don't want you going through my expenses when my home burns down and I need a GoFundMe. People are like, $60 is a lot different than $10 million or whatever, which is true. Yeah, that is true, but it is relative, right? I mean, I don't make millions of dollars, so I don't have millions of dollars to blow. I do make $60, so I've blown $60.
But I mean, you think about spending $2-3 million just on vacationing in a couple of years.
Oh, I wish I could do that.
And you can if you've got $100 million. But $10 million spending in $1 million crystal collection, I mean, it's gone and nothing. Take no time to spend it.
Yeah, Yeah. Well, and I've been telling people I'm not going to die on this hill at all. I just like Spencer and Heidi.
Yeah, I get it.
I root for them.
And people who are fans of theirs, who have been entertained by them for years, are going to support them. That's great. I like the fact that they can do things to help them make money without actually giving them money.
Yes.
So that's good.
Also, William Bundy thinks that I interrupt you way too much, and can I please, for the love of God, let you finish a sentence?
When did you do that?
I do interrupt you, I think. I get so anxious to, put my 2 cents in. I probably trample all of them, so I'm really sorry. If that happened, I apologize deeply. That's very rude.
I guess I didn't catch it when you did it, but that's all right.
Well, good. I am sorry, though. I think I do trample on you quite a bit.
All right. By the way, we will play the Nirvana song, your cue to call in, before 8 a.m. So that will happen this hour. Incubus on the Morning Blitz, 721. Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick. We got to get on a request here for this.
Have a great Friday, you mother.
Yes.
You were just complaining about ice.
Yes, all the ice buildup that will not melt, obviously.
Oh my gosh.
In my yard, there's a little patch on the porch I got to avoid.
This couple in California, they have filed a $1 million lawsuit against JetBlue. They were getting ready to get in bed, like they were in their bedroom, about to get in bed, when something smashed through their house, like their roof, came through the ceiling and smashed and landed in their bed.
Oh, was it the toilet berg?
No. No. It was a piece of ice the size of a watermelon.
Oof.
that fell from a JetBlue plane.
Wow.
So they're suing JetBlue for $1 million. Like landing right on their pillows.
Yeah, isn't that part of the de-icing procedure before you take off?
Yeah, I don't know.
You get rid of those big chunks of ice off a giant plane.
The investigation found it was an Airbus A321 that dropped the ice. So, Oh, and I guess it happened in a Boston home in 2023 as well. They said, quote, "Safety is our number one priority and guides everything we do." Well, your guide's not very good, I guess. The couple in California, it happened on New Year's Day, just this past New Year's Day, that night. Man, they probably just watched the Rose Bowl. We're about to go to bed.
Well, at least it wasn't the sewage berg.
Oh, the
That's
Fatberg?
worse. No, a sewage berg from an airplane.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
No. All right, I had never heard of this series until yesterday. It's called Subway Takes. It's an online series. I'm guessing it's YouTube or wherever. But they just get on subways and they talk to people and they record it. And whatever happens. And if it ends up being a conversation they think is worthy of the series, then they put it on this online series called Subway Takes. And so they ran into this girl in Chicago on the train who thinks that beds are just completely overrated. And the guy from Subway Takes has this conversation with her.
So what's your take?
Beds are overrated and they're an absolute scam.
100% disagree. Beds are not overrated. I love sleeping in a bed.
You invest thousands of dollars into this thing and then you need all the bells and whistles. You need a bed frame, you need a headboard, you need a mattress, you need a mattress cover, you need a sheet, you need another sheet, and then all the upkeep. You have to wash the bedding like I just found out once a week, which is crazy.
That's too much.
I slept in a hammock for years. I slept on a dog bed for years.
A dog bed?
I slept in an extra large dog bed for years.
Was the dog bed on a bed?
No, it was on the floor.
Show me the dog bed.
Okay, so she shows you the picture. It's actually, like, she's not very big. Mm-hmm. This dog bed is massive, like Great Dane dog bed.
Yeah.
And she's got a blanket on it, and she's like a pillow at the head of it, and it looks like it was made for her.
Wow.
And yeah, so.
It actually looks quite nice. I don't know.
It was.
How much did that run you?
That was only $70.
It's still weird.
I'm just saying, like, other species, they don't do all this work to go to sleep.
Because they're other species.
Right.
I was taught by society that I was never going to be able to have a lover if I didn't get a bed.
Your society's right.
So after bringing people home and they told me they wouldn't do anything with me on the dog bed, I got a real bed.
And they are good people.
Wow.
My favorite society taught me that if I would never have a lover unless I got a real bed. He goes, and society was right.
Yeah, I think obviously she's young.
Yeah.
And so maybe your young back can handle sleeping on a dog bed. Although, I don't know if you've ever checked out Orvis.com, but Orvis has these luxurious dog beds. I might be willing to try sleeping in one of those. They look amazing. They're like $500.
My gosh.
But yeah, at some point in your life, like, it is just societally expected of you that you will invest in a bed. Yeah. It's just one of the basic luxuries, I guess you could call it, of, living as an adult.
Yeah.
And here's my thing is I've always had a bed. I did at some point have to decide that I was going to move from a twin bed, which I slept in well into my 20s. I slept maybe into my 30s. I slept in a twin bed.
Okay.
To a more handsome queen bed. Which was, it seems to be more adult to have a queen, right? Am I right?
Than a twin?
Than a twin.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's way more adult.
Absolutely.
Now, I didn't get married till I was 39 years old. So I could manage a twin bed just fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you're single with a twin bed, you're living great.
But I did feel like maybe that was a little bit like, am I still living as a college student? I have a twin bed. I probably need to get a bigger bed here. So I remember that being a conversation, but not should I get a bed at all? Yes, you should get a bed. That is, you're being counterculture here. Nobody needs that.
I had a twin bed till I got married.
Did you? Okay, okay.
Absolutely.
So all right, great. That makes me feel better.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I always felt like,
kept it small and...
You're all living like luxurious lives over there with your queen beds.
Well, yeah. Again, that's when you're advancing in life. You're still single, and you get a queen bed. You're like, all right, I'm doing good. I'm up to a queen, and I'm still single, so I'm doing all right.
Yeah, like there are, I think, physiological benefits to owning a bed and not sleeping on the floor in a $70 dog bed.
Right. Yeah.
Your body does need to be able to rest and relax in a position that's not going to cause you future damage.
Man, we think about cavemen who were sleeping on rocks.
Right.
I don't know how we evolved to the, I guess.
They were all hunched over.
I know.
You know why now? They're sleeping on boulders.
That's funny. That's funny. All right. Well, maybe eventually she'll see the light and get into the luxurious life of a real bed. But
I think sometimes people make things their whole personality. Like, aren't I interesting? I don't own a bed. And you do grow out of that.
Yeah. But the people who are, what do they call them? Minimalists.
That's true.
They have everything. It's like as small and the least amount of stuff possible.
Yeah.
So, it works for some people. I'll keep a bed. The Morning Blitz. That was Nirvana and Smells Like Teen Spirit, your cue song to call in to win. And Ellie Shedlowski from Columbus was the 9th caller. And Ellie got a pair of tickets to see Jet with Band of Skulls at Kemba Live Saturday, June 7th. Tickets for that show go on sale this morning at 10 a.m. And you can get those through AXS.com. Don't forget, Ronnie Hunter hooking you up with tickets to see Shinedown Bush and Morgan Wade this afternoon. She'll give those away during her big-ass chunk of Blitz Rock, which happens in the 5 o'clock hour. So she'll have those for you. Okay, Kelly, I told you this surgeon performed a procedure on himself. He's a plastic surgeon. His name's Chen Wenong. He's in Taiwan. And I mean, I just you got to be kidding me. And he put the video on Instagram. Unfortunately, it's not in English, so nobody's going to understand it.
Yeah.
Or I would play some of it. I would love to have it translated as he's doing this. I mean, he is doing this to himself on a video. So it had 4 million views instantly, just about. He gave himself, Kelly, a vasectomy on camera, all completely alone.
Why? This is a medical professional.
Yes.
Somebody who we believe has sense.
Yes.
You've got some sense in that noggin because you have a medical degree.
Yeah.
Or where was this?
Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah. He said it was a strange feeling to touch and suture his own urethra. He said he uploaded it for educational purposes. I am really brave, he replied to viewers on Instagram. I guess basically they said why. And he said, I'm really brave. He's got 3 children and decided to do it as a gift to his wife to ensure that they didn't have any more kids. And he said, unlike most patients, Dr. Chen decided to go the DIY route, for his prophylactic procedure. The unconventional tutorial shows the surgeon in his chair performing the op on himself as he casually talks viewers through the process as if doing a makeup tutorial.
How flexible is this guy?
I don't know. He's pretty thin, but I mean, I'm imagining, because I had one. I had a vasectomy.
All right. Can I just ask a personal question?
Yeah.
Where do they get up under to give you this? Or where is it? Where do they slice?
There's no slice.
Where do they laser or whatever they're doing?
Okay, so it's right underneath.
So it's underneath. That's what I'm saying. Like, he would have to sort of bend over. You're doing this blindly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I don't know if he had a mirror or what.
He had to stretch, in other words, before he did this procedure.
I don't know if he had a mirror in front of him because,
it's up underneath.
I will tell you, I mean, I have audio of it, by the way.
Yeah.
Of me getting this done.
Yes.
And they strap your guy to your shirt, so it's out of the way.
To your shirt?
Yeah, like they wrap a string around your dude.
No
And then
way.
they clamp the string to the shirt so it stays
not.
up. Yeah, so it stays up.
They clamp your guy to your shirt?
No, they clamp the string that's holding the guy to your
gotcha.
shirt. Yeah, so it stays up.
Wait. This is a part of the procedure I did not know. They tie a string around it and pull it up and clamp it to your shirt.
So it stays up. Yes, away from, So you got to have a clear area there to work with.
Yeah, I do understand that. I never thought about the details of how they would do that.
It's basically, kind of like we're almost down to the taint is where this is. You have these vas, how do you say it? Vas deferens?
Vas deferens, yeah.
Yeah, the tubes.
Learn that in health class.
And they make, he numbs the area, and then he makes 2 little holes.
Okay.
And he pulls the vas deferens up through it. And it looks like a little white string. Like almost like a gristle type of.
Yeah.
You wanted the info.
I do. I still want it too. Keep going.
And then he cuts that in half and then burns the ends, and that's it. And then he puts them.
Do you smell burning
Yes.
flesh?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay,
yes, you do. Yes, you do. You absolutely do.
I know. Burning vase, I should say.
Yeah, burning vase.
Oh, my gosh.
And then,
so when do they unleash the boy?
What do you mean?
Do they keep it leashed up there while you're like... I mean, is there an amount of time that they need to sew up and let you,
the whole
sort
thing
of lay there?
Once from that point, once, drop your pants and get on the table, from that point, once he starts, like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing.
All right.
My dude's sitting there looking at me going, what the hell are we doing here?
Your dude.
So after applying the cream that numbed the area, the fully conscious Dr. Chen carried out the surgery. And they they can take from 10 to like 20, 30 minutes. His took twice as long because he was doing it to himself. Said he felt fine the following morning. Many commenters praised his self-sufficient surgery, praised his bravery. And he's good to go. He was successful. I mean, he'll find out, because you have to wait.
Yeah.
Like 4 months.
Okay.
4 months. And then you have to send in a sample that they test to let you know, you're now sterile. Mm-hmm. So. But I will tell you this. If you are done having kids, if you know you don't want to have kids anymore, I'm talking to the guys, obviously, do yourself a favor and get one.
Yeah.
Health insurance covers it. It's not. I know that a lot of guys are freaked out by it. I'm telling you, it was so quick and simple. You're in, you're out. You just need a weekend to relax. You've got to follow the rules. You can't be like going out and doing exercise type stuff the next day. You just can't. You got to go home and sit on your ass for the weekend, and you get yourself a bag of frozen peas, and it's like 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, and you just do that, and you go through the weekend, and then you're done. And I had no pain, no nothing.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was fine. Good to go.
Just a little smell of burning flesh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we should play that audio sometime.
Why don't we play it now? I mean...
I'll have to get it out. I have to go find it and get it out. But
all right. Well, listen, the guy who performed his own vasectomy, I feel like, is just as intelligent as the girl who won't buy a bed that we talked about last break. If you missed it, I'm sorry, but this young girl refuses to buy a bed. She thinks it's a waste of money. And I think that we're dealing with the same level of...
Oh, come on. This is a successful doctor here.
A successful doctor does not perform his own surgeries.
I don't know about that.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Now, you have a brother who's a dentist.
Yes.
Does he do his own dental work?
I don't think he does.
Well, I think there are certain things you could do yourself. I never thought of this one, but I remember having it done, and there wasn't that much to it. And I can see how he could do it himself. I would never try to do it myself, but then I'm not the doctor who has done thousands of these.
Yeah.
But I can see how he could, knowing what he was doing. I can see how he could do it himself. Obviously, he did. And he had no problem.
Did you watch the video, even though it's in...
I did. Whatever. I was kind of fast-forwarding through some of... Because he was doing he was writing stuff on the chalkboard and all this. Did
they have to leash up his dude? Did he have to leash it up?
He did, to keep it out of the way.
Attach it to his own shirt?
Oh, people are cracking up. Ace said, God, I was cringing perfectly in time with Kelly.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I put the peas back in the freezer? No, I did not.
I mean,
what were you going to say?
You didn't stick your your taint into the pee.
Well, no, but I mean, it was like you use them, you put them back in the freezer. Well, I put them back in the freezer to keep them getting frozen. But no,
again.
once that part was done, they got thrown in the trash. The whole bag.
I mean, me and Amanda are about the same here. All we can picture is is your wiener being pinned up. But
yes.
That's all we can think of right now. But yeah, oh golly.
All right, well, what I want to know is, have you guys ever done, what kind of medical procedure did you try to do to yourself? Did you successfully do or try to do to yourself? I posted this on the Blitz Facebook page earlier, and there were already some coming in there. But, just curious, I think we might have asked this a couple 3 years ago, I think, maybe. But I couldn't remember, so I thought, what the heck,
All right, everybody's stuck on your wiener clamped up. Somebody said, clamp to your shirt over here bragging.
The string, guys. The string that was tied around
Everybody's like, Kelly, you go through the sack. You go through the sack.
Yeah,
it's
right
your ball sack
below the sack. Right below it. Right where it, like at the base of it. Yes.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what have you guys done? What have you tried to do? Were you successful? Unlike Doug Rogers, who did his own dental work, and now he's got a jacked up tooth for life. Breaking Benjamin on the Morning Blitz. 7:52. Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick, talking about doing your own medical procedures on yourself. Kelly, did you ever?
Well, I guess it's not really a medical procedure, but long ago, I had my belly button pierced, and it's since closed up. But I had my belly button pierced, and I guess I was not wearing a ring for a couple weeks, and it started to close up again, and I regretted it. I'm like, no, I want that back. I went through a lot of pain to get that, so I re-pierced my own belly button.
Ooh.
It'd probably been it had closed up quite a bit, enough to where I did re-pierce it, and then it got wildly infected. So it was a massive fail on my part, re-piercing my own self. But that's the closest I can come up with doing my own medical procedure. And it did not go well.
I'm over here on the Blitz Facebook page. Yeah, there's several that haven't gone well. Although this one, I guess, is just a matter of pain. Jason Bodak said, I removed a skin tag by cutting it off with a pair of scissors. That hurt a lot more than I thought it would. And then Dan responded to him and said, try nail clippers next time.
Oh, either way, that sounds very painful.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
Ryan King said he removed an ingrown toenail. I bet that was not fun at all, man, because that hurts just sitting there.
Yeah. Brian says, not sure it counts as a medical procedure, but I had a molar where a filling fell out and subsequently the tooth broke in half, part of it falling out, the other half remaining in my mouth. Well, the remaining half had very sharp edges, which was cutting the inside of my cheek to pieces. So I grabbed a little metal hand file from my tools and ground all the sharp edges off my own tooth. Oh, dang, man. Good job. Good job.
Sandy Moore says, turned my broken ankle back around. That's beyond broken, isn't it?
Oh,
I don't know.
Gosh, we've got a few people saying they super glued cuts. Stacy said I sliced my knee open about a half inch and super glued it shut.
I did do that. Now I remember. I cut like the tip of my finger almost off. Like
okay.
It was like you
flap. Yeah.
And so I cleaned it really good and pushed it tight together and then super glued on the outside of the finger and then wrapped it really tight and left it like that for like 2 weeks. I never took it off for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then I did, and it was good, and now I don't even see the scar. So that actually worked.
Travis said he had a buddy who got his sack caught on a ratchet strap hook and tore it open, super glued it back together, wasn't thinking, and pulled his underwear back up, which got stuck to the glue, so he had to rip that off and repeat the whole process.
I can't! No!
Yes.
No!
I
can't even stand still right now. That is,
I'm sorry.
I don't
know. Just reading what people
Oh,
write.
my God. James said, I put my shoulder back in after popping it out up near my clavicle, Martin Riggs style from Lethal Weapon. Mel Gibson. Remember he would dislocate his shoulder and he'd pop it back in on his own. Oh my gosh.
This is wild. Shane says, I have extracted multiple teeth, I've taken out every stitch that has ever been put in my body, and I have sat at least 2 of my own bones. He set them. Wait.
Oh, wow.
He has sat, not sat. He's set.
He set them.
I said sat.
Well, if it's past tense, isn't that? I mean,
okay.
I don't know.
Okay. He's set at least 2 of his own bones. Shane! My gosh, you've saved a lot in medical expenses over there.
Okay. I don't believe this one.
Uh-oh.
Kevin Cox. So he gave himself a circumcision when he was 12. No way. No way, right?
I mean, I don't feel like you could do that, could you? That is extremely painful.
I don't know.
That's an extremely painful situation for a baby, let alone a 12-year-old.
Yeah, see, I'm not doing any self-medical anything anywhere in that area ever. No, I'm done.
And now, listener, 3 things you need to know before you go.
The Dispatch has an article online this morning written by Bill Rabinowitz. He spoke with Ryan Day's wife, Nina, and obviously it's a glorious time. The Buckeyes won the national championship, but the focus of this article is on the time period between the Michigan game and the Tennessee game, right after that Michigan loss. Things turned absolutely insanely ugly for the Day family.
Oh, I can imagine.
Nina Day says, I mean, all along, they have had just amazing, beautiful support from people, so this is not the majority. But let me tell you what she describes her family going through after the Michigan loss. She says somehow people got her cell phone number. People she has no clue who they are, and flooded her phone with threats, with insults. They posted the Day's address on social media. They, I guess, told her multiple times via text to have Ryan Day follow in his father's footsteps and kill himself. Ryan Day's dad died by suicide when Ryan Day was 8 years old. That is sick. Like, you should go to jail for that. That is really disgusting.
If you happen to be one of the people who did that, listening to us right now, you are no longer allowed to listen to this radio
It is
station.
really gross.
Go away. We don't want you around.
She said that she could not block and delete those messages fast enough. She just shut off her phone. She was just like, can't even deal with this.
Yeah.
Okay, the Days have 3 kids between 6th and 10th grade, and they were not spared. Nina says their 16-year-old son, RJ, received death threats. The Days ended up having to hire a private security firm, which sent armed guards to their home.
Jeez, man.
She said she considered leaving town. That's how bad it got. But the kids did have some amazing support from their schools. The principals, the teachers were very supportive of the family. And of course, the kids had school and they had sports. And she didn't really want to yank them out of their routine. But she said she thought about it. She said her husband was absolutely tortured about what was happening to his family because, of the law of, his decision to get into coaching football.
Yeah.
Just a lot of that. Second guessing himself, feeling absolutely responsible and terrible for putting his family in that position. So she said it was really such an out-of-body experience. What she was experiencing then, and then the absolute extreme opposite, what they're experiencing now, is the joy and the support and the unbridled, enthusiasm from fans. And what Nina Day said was she realizes it's just a small segment of Buckeye fans. However, she said the fan base is so enormous, even a small segment is a lot of people.
It's a lot, yeah.
So it was pretty awful for them. And I don't know how you could do that to a human being. Wish death on someone?
I mean...
Tell them, I really don't get it. Wish death on a teenager? It's really
you're sick in the head, man.
Really sick.
If they can trace those calls, find people who did that, they should be institutionalized and examined before they're released.
Yeah, I don't
Because there's something wrong with it.
And I mean, I understand being angry. We're Buckeye fans. We really wanted to win that Michigan game. You can voice your disapproval, your anger, whatever, but taking it to that level, you're a criminal. You've committed a crime now.
I'm the biggest football fan and Buckeye fan in the world, man, but at the end of the day, it really is, and I know people hate it, especially when it's happening, but it really is just a game.
Yeah.
It is. I go into every game, a Cowboys game, Buckeye game, telling myself, okay, we might lose, and it's just a game. I tell myself that before every game, because that's what it is. It is. At the end of the day, it's just a friggin' game. But I love it.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Anyway, I was very distressed reading that. I encourage you to read that on dispatch.com. You can now use Venmo to book a flight on JetBlue. I think they're desperate because people are just always trash talking JetBlue and their experiences. But JetBlue is the first airline to accept payment via Venmo when buying flights directly on their website. So it'll be on their mobile app. I guess they'll have an option to pay via Venmo.
Seems like natural evolution of how we live now.
Yeah, I agree. JetBlue says they're really just trying to simplify people's travel journeys. So I like that. Meanwhile, Spirit Airlines seems to be working to make things harder on travelers. Spirit is implementing rules for passengers regarding tattoos and clothing. So Spirit updated its contract of carriage this week, saying passengers will not be allowed to board or will be asked to leave if they have body art that's lewd, obscene, or offensive in nature. And they say that also applies to passengers who are inadequately clothed, which is defined as see-through clothing, not adequately covered, exposed breasts, buttocks, or other private parts.
Oh, man, you are opening yourself up here.
Yeah, it's like, how do you define lewd? And that's up to Spirit Airlines, I guess, how they define it.
Well, okay, so the story says if it's offensive.
Right.
So does that mean somebody has to complain that it's offensive
first? Or maybe the flight attendants are really
but how did they,
geared up to be offended? I don't know.
How do they determine what's lewd and offensive to everybody? This is where the gray area is.
Yeah, I'd like to see the internal memo on this. Like, what are we talking about? So obviously it would have to be tattoos. I mean, obviously they can be seen, but
if it had, people doing sexual things on it, then that's pretty much gonna count.
Okay, how about this? Since you're not allowed to have your breasts exposed in your clothing or sheer see-through clothing that you can see boobs, what if a dude on his neck has a naked lady?
Yeah, it's
and you can see her boobs.
It's probably going to be considered.
Because that's probably lewd and obscene.
But when you talk about offensive, man, there's a list a mile long of things it could be. But maybe to the person who got the tattoo or to the people around him, it's not. It just happened to be offensive to the steward or whatever. I don't know.
I'm curious. Blitz Nation, do you have a tattoo that would keep you off a Spirit flight?
Somebody does, I'm sure. That's a great question.
Yeah,
to the perfect audience. System of a Down on the Morning Blitz, 8:22. Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick. We were talking about Spirit Airlines' new policy. They are not going to let you on their plane if you have offensive or lewd tattoos or you're dressed too provocatively or you're showing too much.
You're inadequately clothed.
Inadequately. And I just think this is going to open them up to too much stuff because there's... who's judging? Is it just...
Well, Spirit Airlines.
I know, but the flight attendants. Who else is seeing you?
Yeah, they make the final call.
And tattoos, you could have, I don't know, you might be wearing a coat and it's covering them up and you sit down and take your coat off and you're in the air and then they see a tattoo they don't like, then what happens? They're going to turn the plane around? I will turn this plane around.
Yeah.
So we just asked, do you have a tattoo that would keep you from getting on Spirit Airlines? Bobby said, what if it's a cross? Then the next person has a cross upside down. I'm sure it will be a double standard. That's a good point.
Yeah, like I said, I'd love to see the internal memos on this, how you're going to decide. I'm certain that it would have to be like a neck tattoo, I guess an arm tattoo or something. Yeah, people are saying, let's see, Jonathan showed us a picture of his tattoo. His tattoo. I can't exactly, it looks like a woman. You can see her butt.
Yeah.
And a side boob. And then she's holding something on her lap, which I can't tell what it is.
Yeah, but, I text him and asked him, what is she holding?
Yeah.
I'm waiting to hear back from him.
Josh has the Leviathan cross, known as the Satanic cross, on his forearm.
I never knew that.
He doesn't know if that would be offensive.
It looks like a double cross with an infinity symbol.
Okay.
So I didn't know. I never knew that was it. I don't know that I've ever seen that before, that Leviathan cross.
Let's see. Anna says basically tattoos are art, and tattoos with nudity are still art. I want to board a flight wearing a shirt with the statue of David on it and see what they say. It's art.
Well, I don't disagree with you. JD Marie says, I don't have a tattoo that would keep me off the Spirit Airlines, but now I should get one. JD the Rebel.
Amanda says, depends on what people are offended by. I have a few skulls, bats, a woman bound, a mermaid kissing a skeleton. Take your pick. Which one's offensive?
Yeah, exactly. now, just based on that description, none of that would offend me. So, I mean, it's all so subjective. I just don't know why they want to open themselves up to this. Jason Rose said, would Karen's tramp stamp from the 90s be considered offensive? That's a good question.
Somebody said anything gang-related. They texted in gang-related tattoos. So I wouldn't know a gang-related tattoo if I saw one. I would have no idea. Monica says that just means anyone with an expletive tattoo would not be allowed on, like the F word or something.
Okay. Well, when you say lewd or offensive, there's so many things that can offend this person or that person, but not that person. You know what I mean? I
guess Spirit Airlines, they're just asking, just don't book with them if you have any visible tattoos. Unless they're flowers and hearts.
Doug said, I'm sick and tired of these MFing tattoos on this MFing plane. That's great.
Yeah, what about a giant weed leaf? Is that offensive?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
That's what Gary texted in. Tony says, I have a block O on my neck. What if they're Michigan fans working that flight?
Oh,
You're
wow,
right.
Yeah.
This person says, I have a Juggalo Hatchet Man tattoo. Weren't the Juggalos deemed a hate group or something like that by the government?
Yeah.
Wasn't it something? I don't know if that's still in effect.
I don't think they had any idea what they were talking about
Yeah.
when that happened. That was a long time ago. Mike said lawsuits incoming. Jay said so much for land of the free, I guess.
We love you Juggalos, by the way. I was just saying, I remember the government had a big problem with you at some point.
That was wrong.
Yeah, it's very subjective. It's like how they tried to define pornography, or what was it? It was something like that. Wasn't it around Tip O'Neill and all that?
Yeah. Tip O'Neill.
No, Tipper Gore.
Tipper
That's
Gore.
who I was thinking of, not
Gore.
Tip O'Neill.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Tipper
my
Gore.
God. She was out to get all of rock and roll and everything around it.
What's offensive?
Yeah.
Define offensive.
Yeah.
What does is mean? What's the definition of is?
Yeah. Lori said, I have the goddess Athena on my thigh, but I've been criticized for having a pagan god tattooed on me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Doug Allen says, down with tattoos. What are you, the Spirit CEO, Doug?
Do you remember the Sonic commercial for a guy with a face tattoo? He sure was mean, or something similar. That was from Cowboy Dan.
Oh, okay. This person said, basically anything labeled or listed by the government as gang-related could probably be used. Okay. Right.
Somebody said, well, Spirit Airlines is now banning their whole demographic.
Yeah.
Stephen Wells says, to me, tattoos are a form of art. If you want to show off your art, then you should be more than welcome to. A lot of people comment on tattoos and the way they look. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I think this is going to end badly for them, and it's probably just going to go away and nobody will talk about it anymore. But
yeah, when I run an airline, I want to tell you something. You can come on with all your tattoos as long as you have cash in hand.
Yeah, and clothes on. If you're going to walk in with topless.
I mean, we can talk about it honestly.
3 Days Grace on the Morning Blitz. It's 8:39 with Kelly Quinn and Thick Rick. And, we watch movies and TV shows and we get to know actors through their roles, and we don't really know them personally. We have no idea what their personal lives are like, who their friends are, what people really who know them think of them. And then things come out and you start to kind of find out people are different than maybe you perceive them to be, and we're talking, of course, about Blake Lively, her husband, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni, who was a director of a movie that he and Blake were in called It Ends With Us. It was his movie, and allegedly Blake was trying to control every aspect of the movie as it was being made, which started in May of 2023.
Yeah, she was hired to be the lead female, and then all of a sudden she and apparently her husband, Ryan Reynolds, just got their little claws into this project that she decided was going to be her pet project, and everything was going to go the way she said it was going to go.
Yeah, Justin said that they absolutely were trying to steal control of the movie away from him. Some of their early battles were like, it would be about characters' wardrobe. Like, she wanted to dress rich and sexy, and he pointed out that she was playing a struggling small business owner who wasn't rich. And
if you go by all the TikTok videos on this whole thing, I did not see the movie, but everybody says her wardrobe, which she got her way on. She got her way on the wardrobe, and most everything else is ridiculous.
Oh, really?
Like, ridiculous
for the role she's playing?
No, just in any way, shape, or form. Right. Nobody's wearing these outfits. I don't care, rich or poor.
Well, he said that, she didn't know the kind of character she was playing because she didn't read the book when they were working on the script.
Yes.
He said she even tried to Google the color of her character's hair rather than pick up the book. And so this is just this constant ongoing drama between them. Blake demanded that she get to cut her own version of the film, and that she said she would not promote the movie if she didn't get to do that. Sony Studios, the film's distributor, then said, look, they stepped in. They said, we're just going to make it a competition. Justin, you do your cut. Blake, you do your cut. We'll show them both to an audience, and whichever one tests better, that'll be the final cut. Well, his version scored significantly higher than hers, but then he says Blake reneged on her promise and insisted Sony release her version, which Sony did. I guess everybody just gives in to her. And then Justin...
Or Ryan Reynolds. He's the power part of that couple.
Right.
She's just a tag-along. Honestly. She's a B actress at best. She's not a good... Have you seen Gossip Girl? She's not a good actress.
Wasn't she more about being a model than an actress?
I don't know. I just remember her from Gossip Girl. She was in Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants before that. So I do think maybe she's a model, but she's definitely trying to make it as an actress. And she's not that good.
All right. Well, Justin says the smear campaign started at this time as well. Blake and Ryan accused him of sexual harassment and inappropriate comments. So Jason and his production company just filed this massive lawsuit against Blake, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist, Leslie Sloan. Claims defamation, civil extortion, interference, contractual relations, and more, and seeking no less than $400 million in damages. By the way, he also is suing the New York Times for $250 million over their big article alleging he and others coordinated a smear campaign against Blake. So round and round we go.
Yes. So the first lawsuit was filed by Blake Lively. She's suing him for repeated sexual harassment. And in this lawsuit and in the New York Times article, she makes specific claims about Justin Baldoni's behavior. And in his lawsuit against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, he comes out with every single receipt proving his side of the story without a shadow of a doubt. So, for instance, let me just give you one instance, and then I know, Thick, you've got a ton of them. She at one point claimed, as a matter of just normal behavior for Justin, who's always up in her business and being inappropriate, according to Blake Lively, at one point he called her hot. He said she was hot. And she didn't like that. She said it was inappropriate. Well, what Justin actually said was because they were doing a bar scene in a small bar that was there was no air condition. And they were in onesies, I guess. And she had a big jacket on. And he said, you should probably take your jacket off because it's hot. The temperature is hot, my dear, not you.
Oh, no, and that's what a smear campaign is.
Yes.
You take these things and you twist them so that there's a partial truth in it, which was only the word hot.
Exactly. Exactly.
But here was one of my favorite things. One of the things Blake referenced was a scene accusing Justin of getting creepy with comments about the fragrance she was wearing. And so these things that she claimed from this scene, the scene in the movie where they're dancing, it's in slow motion, there's no audio of them talking, there's just music. So I don't know if Blake didn't think that the audio existed just because it wasn't in the movie, because they recorded the scene, this footage.
Yes, and she demanded they speak to each other, even though it was going to be that part was going to be silent in the movie. Like you said, it would just have music over it.
Right.
She said, because he's like, well, he basically wasn't talking. And she's like, no, we need to talk. What she says was he was just out of character then, like brushing his lip down from her ear down to her lips, and that he was acting as himself. He was doing that. He wasn't doing that as the character. And like you said, she thought there was no real audio that was recorded. It was all recorded, and you can see it for yourself. She looks insane claiming these things.
Right. And here's the thing. This is a scene where they're just trying to look like they're in love on the dance floor. They're slow dancing. And, of course, she wanted some chit-chat in there. So they're talking. And it's like they almost kiss a couple of times, which she said, we need to not do it. We need to make them, they're going to kiss. But not really, keep teasing them with it. She said that.
Yeah.
All right. And so when you see the finished product, you have no idea what went on, on the set,
the scenes,
because while they're doing this, the crew are watching a soccer or a hockey game in the background, and you hear them going, "He scores! He scored!" So there's people all around them, and I'm going to let you hear this first part from this footage because Baldoni, they released 10 minutes of footage from this thing. I just got a couple clips here, but you tell me if this is a person who sounds like she feels like she's being sexually harassed, because Justin is talking about how he and his wife don't talk much. Blake says she and Ryan talk constantly to each other, and Justin's talking about he and his wife stare at each other a lot.
Oh my gosh, we don't shut up. And Emily and I have we have these moments where
staring. You just stare.
Literally we've done it for 5 minutes. it's like, I think you would find it terrifying. We just literally hear each other, and
when
time.
I found a sociopath,
and time stops.
Yeah,
but that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
And they score again.
Yeah. And they score again.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, I forgot to tell you something else.
I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
Yeah. So she says that Blake and Ryan are cute.
Yeah,
They're
you guys are
cute.
cute. He's talking about he and his wife.
Yeah.
She's talking, but he's acting as if he's the character in the movie because they're shooting a movie scene.
Right,
But they're just talking like their regular lives.
Yeah,
His marriage, her marriage,
they're
all that.
slow dancing around each other for the footage.
Yeah.
What they're saying doesn't matter, and they know it.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but they are in character.
Yeah.
They're just talking about things in their own real lives.
All right. Another clip here.
That's so nosy.
Okay, yes. So he, again, like I said, they were leaning in, like almost kissing and stuff. And his nose bumped her. And she makes this comment about his nose.
That's so nosy.
And,
noses.
And my nose is so big.
Yes. I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. We gotta call an insurance month and just deal with that.
Yeah.
And then,
God.
So she wants she's making a joke about his big nose and shutting down and getting having a nose job.
He took it as a joke, as she obviously meant it. But
she even said just
that's
kidding.
kind of a crappy thing to say to somebody, but he took it in stride, and they kind of chuckled with each other.
Okay, one more clip, and this one is a big deal because, as I said, in her lawsuit, she accuses him of getting creepy with comments about the fragrance she was wearing. She wasn't even really wearing a fragrance. It was like spray tan.
Yes.
Or what she calls body makeup. And he's got, some scruff facial hair, and he's trying not to brush up against her with his facial hair because he doesn't want to irritate her or, her makeup or anything. And this is how that goes.
I'm not getting a beard on you today.
I'm probably getting spray tan on you. Well, it's not that. It's my body makeup.
So he said, I'm trying not to get my beard on you. And she goes, yeah, I don't want to mess up my spray tan. He goes, well, it smells good. And she goes, well, it's my body makeup.
Now, her claim was that
it.
he said, you smell so good.
Yeah, a lie, because she didn't know this audio existed.
She accused Justin Baldoni of fat shaming her because he asked what her weight was so that he could prepare in his workouts to safely lift her, only because he has back injuries and multiple bulging discs. So he has back problems, and he needed to know what weight he needed to be able to lift safely, because he would have to lift her in the scene.
And she claims that's body shaming?
And Ryan Reynolds got so mad at him. He swore at him and said, you body shame my wife.
Oh,
and he's like, no. I think your wife her weight's perfect. I'm not saying, I just needed to know how much weight I needed to be able to lift. It wasn't anything about her being overweight. It was like, What weight is she? Oh my gosh, these people. These people must be the most self-centered human beings on planet Earth. Ugh, it's so gross.
So his lawsuit is like 179 pages. He's got examples of text messages galore to prove his case. One text, and this was great.
No, she was sending books as text.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Like pages and pages of text.
So here's one she sent to him, comparing herself to Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones. She says, if you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi. I happen to have a few dragons. For better or worse, but usually better, because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too. I can promise you. And here, I got audio, Blake Lively.
The world hadn't seen a dragon in centuries until my children were born. The Dothraki hadn't crossed the sea. Any sea. They did for me.
Okay, so her dragons are Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift.
Yes, so Taylor Swift even gets a mention in here. She's not named in the lawsuit, but I guess Justin went over to Blake and Ryan's home so they could go over stuff in the script and everything. And Taylor was there. Like, Taylor and Blake are friends.
And Taylor also very strongly encouraged Justin Baldoni to accept Blake Lively's version of the show.
Yeah, her cut.
So she was apparently in on the pressuring.
Yeah, because, Taylor's big Hollywood movie person,
right? Exactly. You know what I'd find absolutely embarrassing about that whole thing, the Game of Thrones reference, is Blake Lively was so hell-bent on comparing herself to Khaleesi. Mm-hmm. She made the reference even knowing that Justin Baldoni had never watched Game of Thrones. He has no clue what she's talking about, but she just had to compare herself to Khaleesi. It was that important to her.
Oh, yes, because she said, if you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones.
Like, everything you're saying henceforth, I don't understand. All right? I've never seen it, but you have to compare yourself to Khaleesi. That is embarrassing.
And I will.
Well,
so yeah, I guess it is nice to see bullies have to face the music, and these two, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, do seem like they are big bullies.
And I never heard a negative word ever about Ryan Reynolds. All you ever heard was he was one of the most beautiful men in Hollywood, and he was always on the top of the lists of the best-looking actors, and everybody loved his movies, and he's so funny and cute and all of this. And then, but see, that's what I said at the beginning. We see these movies, we don't know these people, we don't know anything about them.
Now, I will say that these two met. Now, a running theory on TikTok about this whole thing is that Blake Lively really finds herself attractive and was expecting Justin Baldoni to fawn all over her and to treat her like she was some goddess and fall in love with her on the set. Okay, that's what she was expecting.
I am Khaleesi.
That maybe she caught feelings and it wasn't reciprocated, and Ryan Reynolds got involved and he was upset seeing how giggly his own wife was with Justin Baldoni, so it's become a huge thing now. But I will say, Lively and Reynolds met while filming The Green Lantern. They were both with other people.
Yeah.
They cheated on.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds was married to Scarlett Johansson when he met Blake Lively. Okay? And she was dating her Gossip Girl co-star.
Right.
So these two cheated on their partners to be with each other. So I could understand. I could understand why Ryan Reynolds might think she's going to do it again.
I know.
And look at this hot guy she's working with right now. I need to get involved.
Whatever. Oh, these.
Anyway, please take this to trial. I beg you, have at least that much hubris to take this to trial, Blake Lively. I beg you.
I want to watch this.
Yes.
I can't wait to see. She's going to have to drop everything, but she's going to have to pay it off. They're going to have to settle out of court, or it's all going to come out, and everybody's going to know what a liar she is. Love it.
And now, all right, listener, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
All right, 4 different viruses are thriving right now in Ohio. 4. The flu, norovirus, RSV, and COVID. And some are referring to this as a quademic. in Ohio. Anyway, the State Department of Health Director Bruce Vanderhoff held a press conference yesterday to address everything, saying that Ohio is still averaging, believe it or not, 32 deaths a week from COVID.
Really?
Yeah. Now, that's the entire state of Ohio, 32 deaths per week from COVID, which I guess I hadn't thought about it in long enough that surprised me. There has been a sharp increase in hospitalizations due to flu and RSV. My little niece was just in the hospital with RSV. She's only 2. It was really, really
But it affects kids most,
sad.
right?
I think so, yeah. I think. But you can get it as an adult. I mean, you can get RSV as an adult. But, yeah, I think that it's hardest on children.
Because their lungs are so underdeveloped.
Yeah. We are also seeing a spike in pertussis cases, which is whooping cough.
Whooping cough, yeah.
The highest number in Ohio in pertussis cases in 15 years. So anyway, everybody's sick out there. An executive order signed by President Trump yesterday calls for making thousands of documents related to the assassinations of John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. public. Now, most of the documents connected to the JFK assassination have already been declassified, including 13,000 documents released during the Biden administration, though a lot of it was redacted, just blacked out. So we couldn't really read a lot of what was released. Trump's order gives the Director of National Intelligence and the Attorney General 45 days to come up with a plan for releasing all RFK and King files, and they're being given 15 days on the JFK files. Trump told reporters that, quote, everything will be revealed.
So he wants even the stuff that came out blacked out?
Yeah.
Like he wants it all
I mean,
available.
I guess outside of really identifying information that might hurt someone, I guess, addresses and phone numbers and social security numbers or whatever the heck's involved in all of those. Who knows?
It's just, it makes you, when it comes out with all this stuff blacked out, you're like, okay, you're hiding something.
Yeah.
So how you feel,
Thanks for the sentence about what the weather was like on the day of the assassination. I got it. Yeah. Here's what we know about the Buckeyes National Championship celebration at Ohio Stadium on Sunday. Gates open at 10:30 a.m. and the ceremonies will start at noon. It'll last about an hour. Governor DeWine is expected to be there. Of course, Ryan Day will be there. Some players will be there. And you can park around Ohio Stadium for free. Parking will open at 8 a.m. and it'll be first come, first serve. There will be handicap parking in the East Stadium lot. What?
People are going to be tailgating out there.
Yeah, we saw what happened at, where was it? Where they were serving up chicken fingers this week?
Oh, Canes, yeah.
Canes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Jack Sawyer
yes.
and...
Yep.
Who's it? Will Howard.
Will Howard were there, yeah. And it was like backed up onto the street.
Oh, yeah.
Way before they even were there. So anyway, it should be a fun time, though. And it doesn't seem like the weather's going to be too bad.
Mostly cloudy, high 32.
Ew.
That's
Maybe
a lot
I'll
better
celebrate
than 6.
I know, you're right. 32. We can do 32, right? Yeah, all right.
I mean, people have sat through a whole game at 32 degrees.
That's right. You're right. All right. Those are your 3 things.